Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here to Queens Public Library's Explore with QPL Brain Fuse Part 2. My name is Miss Jo, and I'm from the Hunters Point Community Library, and I'm so happy to be here with all of you today. If you're interested in other aspects of Brain Fuse, please do go check out our last week's Explore with QPL video with Angela, and she can get you all up to speed on some of the study guides and things that you can do on Brain Fuse. However, a quick few notes before we get started. QPL is open for to-go service at several locations, and as it's back to school time and library card sign-up month, check out our blog on queenslibrary.org for tips on helping your child adjust to wearing a mask, resources at QPL, health tips, and much more. On queenslibrary.org, you will also find information about other virtual QPL programs, accessing our digital materials, e-card registration, donating to support the library, and how to be counted in this year's census. Without an accurate count of children, your community may build fewer resources for children, such as schools, libraries, and hospitals. So as such, please make sure to go to my2020census.gov to respond now, or call at 844-330-2020 by September 20th to make sure you are counted. So I think right now we got a large group of people joining in, so let's get started. So today we're going to be exploring a platform called Brain Fuse. Now, if you were not with us the first session last week, you might be asking, what is Brain Fuse? So Brain Fuse is a virtual service that provides online tutoring for all ages and covers pretty much every subject that you can think of. When you are accessing this particular service, you will need a library card. And so if you're interested in learning how to get a library card, please go check out the first episode of our Explore with QPL series, as they'll go over how you can get an e-card to access this service. Now, specifically on how to get to Brain Fuse, you're going to go to queenslibrary.org, as you can see here at the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to click under Research. Now, this drop-down menu appears, and what we're going to do is we're going to click the second one called Research Databases. So once we are in our Research Databases page, you're going to scroll down, and you're going to look for Brain Fuse Help Now. So we're going to click on here, and you're going to get this page. So this page is what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your library card number and your PIN number, and you're going to log in. And so let me pull that up for you right now to show. So just to reiterate, when you get started, you're gonna take your library card number and you're gonna throw it into this bar over here, and you're gonna throw the PIN number in here. So having signed in already on my end, what I'm going to do is we're going to go straight into the platform. So after you sign in, you're going to see that you have three columns that we can choose from. So the three columns are Expert Help, Study, and Collaborate. As I mentioned, my colleague Angela went over a lot of the study functions in last week's episode, so please do go check that out. But we're going to go through the Expert Help and interactive options today. So before we begin, some really cool facts that you can do on Brain Fuse is, as you can see, our platform is in English right now. But if you go to this little top section over here, you can see where it says highlighted English. What you can do is you can actually change the language of the site. So I clicked Spanish, and now the site is in Spanish. If I click again, if I want the site in French, I can easily do that too. And what's really great, really helpful with this is when you change the languages, the tutoring help that you can get, you'll be paired off with tutors that will be speaking in Spanish and French. And so this service is open 7 days a week. You are able to submit materials pretty much any time of the day. The only one that has any time restrictions is going to be our live tutoring option up here. And so, but the live tutoring is still open from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. And so there is a pretty wide range of time in when you can join in to get some live assistance with any homework you have. And so before we begin, I do have some examples of things I sent in already into BrainFuse, and I ended up theming it as Johnny Appleseed Day. Now, if you do not know, this past Saturday on September 26th, it was Johnny Appleseed Day because he was born on this day in 1774 in Massachusetts. He was a great environmentalist. He went and planted and cared for numerous apple trees throughout the entire country and made sure to travel to ensure that everyone has access to these wonderful fruits. And so today, if you're going to see a lot of topics and talks about apples, that is why we're going to be honoring Johnny Appleseed and his wonderful contributions to society. And so what we're going to do first, I'm going to show you how you can do the Send Questions feature. Now, Send Questions is 24/7. You can send in a question at 2 p.m. You can send a question at 2 a.m., depending on if you're an early bird or a night bird. So we're going to click Send Questions right here. Oh, and let me see if I have, let me just re-input my library card number. So just give me 1 second. And if you are watching today and you are enjoying today's session, since we are talking about Johnny Appleseed, please write in your favorite fruit. We are going to be doing a fill-in-the-blank activity later. So do write in what your favorite fruit is. So as I mentioned before, we have the Send Questions feature. So this is 24/7, and the way that you do it is you select your grade. So for instance, if you wanted to say we are in 3rd grade, for instance, for today, and the various subjects we can choose from. So when I first sent this question in, when it was related to Johnny Appleseed, I submitted related to science. Now, what I did was I entered my question. So in terms of thinking of a question that we can have related to Johnny Appleseed, one question I always had is, why are apples red? So I'm just going to type that in. Why are apples red? Now, if you wanted to be even more in-depth, or for instance, you have a long fraction equation that you're trying to solve that you need help with, you can also attach it as a document from your computer. So what we're going to do is, as always, you select your grade, you select topic, and then you write your question, and then you click Submit Question, click OK. And now we're going to get a message that says you will receive a response within 1 day. So it's a 24 hours before you get the next one. And so that is a pretty quick turnaround. And so you may be asking, where can you find the answers? You know, we're sending in questions. We want to know pretty much where we can find those responses. And so the way to find those responses is when you go up to the top over here in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see something called Inbox. Now, one thing to note is when you are using BrainFuse, the only way you can communicate with any of our tutors, is if you is within the BrainFuse app. They will not ask you for any personal information. All information and communication will be going through this app. So we're going to click Inbox. And you're going to see I already have 2. I have a response to my submissions. And so what we're going to do is, as you remembered, I had asked, why are apples red? And so my answer is going to be found right over here. So what happens is when you click the inbox, it's going to come up with this type of form. So it's going to show you what your question is, their response, and the actual answer. So what you're going to do, you're going to be able to see, once again, your question, your response, and the answer. So if you were ever curious about why apples are red, apples have a component named anthocyanins. These are pigments or natural colorings that develop as the apples grow. Anthocyanins absorb all the colors of the light except for the red color. This is the reason why apples are red. So pretty cool fact. It's a really interesting fact. I didn't know it before today, but that is how you can use the send a question function of BrainFuse. So next, the next thing we're going to be going into is our writing lab. So for the writing lab, that is the second option on our expert help list. So you're going to click that, and you're going to see this little, this tab show up. Now, the great thing about the writing lab is that sometimes, you know, when you're writing a long paper and you've been staring at the words for so long, it starts getting, you know, the words start melding together, and you just wish someone would read your paper to give you some feedback. The writing lab is that place where you can do so. Now, the really cool thing about the writing lab is that, similar to the send a questions, it is a 24-hour, 7 days a week service. You will typically get a response within 1 day, and there is no page limit. If you want to send in a paragraph, you can do so. If you want to send in a 15-page paper, you can do so. There is absolutely no limit to how many pages they will proofread. Now, in order to do that, one of the things you're going to see is you're going to attach your document. So you can say, for instance, right over here, one way you can do is attach from your computer, your cloud pack, or from a whiteboard. I would say for today's purposes, let's do from a computer. So what you're going to do is you're going to click Upload File, and then you're going to see all of these files that you have on your computer. So for instance, we're going to click Who is Johnny Appleseed? We're going to open it. Now you can see that the document is listed in the bar. If, for instance, you wanted to let the person know, say, hey, you know, this paper is my second revision, or, you know, my teacher told me I needed to talk about Johnny Appleseed. This is where you can do so. You can write your comments in here. So I am just going to write, for instance, hello, my paper is about Johnny Appleseed. One thing I'm going to note to help get the best response from the writing tutor is always the more information they know, the better. So for instance, if you're saying this is a book report, or, you know, this is in response to a video we watched in class. These are all things that you should let your writing lab tutor know so that they can give you the best response possible. Next thing you know, you're going to click Upload your document. You're going to click Submit. And you're going to, once again, get the message. You will receive a response within approximately 1 business day in your message center. Now, once again, where can I find my messages? You're going to go, once again, back to the inbox. You're going to click on it. And then what you're going to do, once again, we see both of our inbox, all of our messages in our inbox. And then what we're going to do is you're going to click on it. And so for this one, it was Timothy who responded. And then you just click the attachment and it will download. Now, to give you an idea of what a response will look like, let me go grab that for you. Let's make sure it shows up on our screen. And right over here. So you're going to see BrainFuse response form, welcome to the writing lab. And so one great thing about this platform and this service is that they will give you first just various general feedback of what you can do better. So for instance, for the paragraph I submitted, they said I needed a little bit of better organization. I needed to have a better hook sentence and kind of better connect my ideas with one another. Other things they'll cover is development. So for instance, connecting ideas with one another rather than having just 2 separate ideas that don't relate to one another. Other things like formatting in terms of grammar and style. Often what BrainFuse does is they'll also include a list of useful links that you can use to help you better your writing in the future. And then also some other things that they often send which they didn't do in this particular paper, but they also will cover also grammar, development, organization, structure, style, and formatting. And they will often also give something called a structural checklist, where you can go back and they will give you a specific checklist of exactly what you would need to do to make your paper better. So scrolling down, you can see this. I'm going to highlight for you. Fortunately, it's not highlighting, but I'm going to circle with my cursor where it says, this was my original paragraph that I had submitted. Now, the question is, who is Johnny Appleseed? And so if you'll notice, some things are in blue and in brackets. Those things in blue and brackets are my writing tutor's suggestions of what I can do better. They are ways that I can connect my ideas better and also give really great feedback. So for instance, where over here, America is spelled A-M-E-R-C-A, my writing tutor says spelling here. Over here, I misspelled delicious. They wrote, watch spelling here. Do you mean correct spelling of delicious? And so other things include, for instance, the sentence, he took seeds to plant in the ground so people could have apple trees for a long time. People loved. And then my writing tutor gave me the suggestion of, how do you know people loved him? Can you highlight an example in relation to what they said about him here, thereby supporting the claim better? And so that is how the writing lab works. As I mentioned, you can have papers that are, I submitted a paragraph. If you want to send in a 13-page paper, you're also more than welcome to do so. And so going back to our home page right over here, going back to our expert help. So another thing, and this is one of the really awesome, cool things that they do, is the live tutoring function. So we're going to click that as the first one over here. Now, the live tutoring function, I'm just making sure everyone can see. So the live tutoring function is live help. In New York, it's going to be from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then what you're going to do is you can, once again, similar to the send a question, you're going to select the grade that you're in. So once again, we're just going to click 3rd grade for today, and we're going to choose the subject. One really cool thing is, for instance, if you are in 8th grade, right, and you're watching it today, you're going to notice that the subjects, there's more subjects. So depending which grade you choose will indicate how many subjects there are going to be. For today's purposes, we're going to click 3, and we're going to click math, since math was always one of my favorite subjects. And then that's pretty much it. You can get live help and click over there. And what you're going to get is you're going to get you're going to get a screen that essentially is a whiteboard, and you're also going to get a chat function. Now, there is no audio function in this live tutoring. You will use a chat function, so you will be typing out your questions, but the live tutors will be able to help you with solving math equations, helping out with science problems, also even helping out with things like if you're brainstorming an idea for a paper, you can easily do so in there. The whiteboard function will help you, for instance, if you have a math problem, to type out your math equation on that platform. One thing I do want to also mention is, for instance, if you don't necessarily have homework, but you're like, I think I really need help with multiplying fractions, right? There's no homework, but I just really need help, and my teacher told me to go practice. If you go to the live tutoring function and you write in the chat box, hey, I need help with this particular topic, the tutors will actually pull up lessons for you and then showcase all of, we'll pull up lessons, and then they'll go through the lessons with you. So therefore, you don't need to have homework with you in order to do the live tutoring. If you just need assistance in just refining your skills to become the best student that you can be, you can easily just tell them in the chat function in the live tutoring box that will pop up, and they'll be able to help you do so. And so then the last thing I have really quickly is going to be the language lab. So I know So I've been putting in that for 3rd grade, right? But this platform can go from the very young, from kindergarten, pre-K, all the way up into 12th grade and also college. So I know for our older grades who might be watching today, you're going to be possibly taking a language course. And if so, similarly to the live tutoring function, you're going to have, they have that with the topic specifically being language. So for instance, the language lab, you just click which language. They currently have French and Spanish. You click the one you want, click live help. And then you're immediately in the system talking to a tutor who's helping you practice your Spanish or French and the related homework. And so the one last thing I want to go over before we do our very quick little fill in the blank is I'm just going to show you quickly CloudPack. So we're going to go back to our home. And so you see my name, it says Joanne over here. You hover over it. You're going to see, scroll down, and you're going to go down to My CloudPack. We're going to click that. Now, My CloudPack is basically, so for instance, if you're at school and you're using one of the computers and you wrote the best essay you have ever written, but they don't want you to save it on the computer, where can you save your paper? So one thing that you can do is you can go to, as I said, you hover over your name in BrainFuse, you click My CloudPack, you click the Add, click Select Folder. So we're going to click My CloudPack over here. You're going to click Add, and then you're going to add an item. So for instance, I'm going to put Who is Johnny Appleseed, which I wrote. If I want, I can make a description, say it's a draft. And then I can either upload a file, add a link. Maybe I found a link that tells me exactly who Johnny Appleseed is. Or I can create a document and write my paper, copy and paste my paper in here. Once you're done, you just click Save. And when you go home, you'll be able to access your documents in your CloudPack in BrainFuse. Once again, I do like to reiterate that BrainFuse is open 24/7. The only thing that has a time restriction is going to be the live tutoring, which is from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. But otherwise, you can always submit materials in the Send a Question, the Writing Lab, and the live tutoring is always going to be from 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. Now, to quickly, we're going to see if we have some time to do this. So hold on 1 second. We're going to see if we can do a quick fill in the blank. Alrighty. So explore with QPL, fill in the blank. Now, we've been talking a lot about Johnny Appleseed today. And so what I'm going to do is, for anyone who is watching in our audience, we're going to submit a question, and we're also going to submit a question into BrainFuse based on the paragraph we write, and we're also going to submit it as a document. So what we're going to do is I am going to ask from our audience if you can give me a verb, a place, and 1 or 2 animals, 1 or 2 emotions, and a reward. So if you can give me, and you can write them into the comments of this video, give me a verb, a place, an animal, an emotion, a fruit, and a reward. So please feel free to write that in the comments, and I will wait maybe 30 seconds and we'll get started in filling out these fill in the blanks. Okay? Awesome. And so once again, as a reminder, as we're talking about BrainFuse, BrainFuse is available through the Queens Public Library website. You just need to make sure that you have a library card in order to access. And also, just to also reiterate, is that the program, all the tutoring is for free. So as long as you have your handy dandy library card, all services on that platform are for free, and you're all good to go. And yes, Miss Pat, yes, based on Johnny Appleseed. But for instance, if you have a favorite fruit, you can throw that in there and we'll use that. If you have a favorite animal, if you have a favorite emotion, favorite reward, feel free to write them in. And so while we're waiting, I'm also going to quickly mention is that our next Explore with QPL is going to be about World Book Online on October 13th on Facebook Live at 5 p.m. and is going to be covering World Book Online and also celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. So mark that in your calendars. It's going to be October 13th. And so I think we're just going to get started with filling out some of these fun little things. So Johnny Appleseed, I was going to say, so one of my favorite activities when I was a kid was running. So we're going to go, Johnny Appleseed was running. Alrighty. So in terms of a place, what is your favorite place to be? Now, I know for myself, one of my favorite places is the library. So maybe let's write that down into our platform. And he came across an animal. Now, I like cats, so let's put in cat. And another animal that might be a really good thing animal to make friends with our cat. Let's go with a giraffe. Actually, so that's actually still the cat one. Let's do giraffe on as animal 2. So let's say when he saw the cat, he felt happy. I don't know about you, but cats make me very happy. They're always very very awesome creatures. And Miss Pat says, yeah, that is true. We can run through the library. So maybe let's change running to strolling. Strolling through the library. Alrighty. So he walked up to the cat and gave it a fruit. The cat was joined by a giraffe, and they felt, let's go with, so I see banana. So let's change fruit to banana. The cat was joined by giraffe, and they felt, let's go with pleased. There's nothing better than getting a gift from a friend. So to reward Johnny, the cat and giraffe gave him a, let's say hug, a hug. Let's say gave him a hug. So this is our paragraph about Johnny Appleseed on one of his many adventures. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go back to BrainFuse. And so because it's such a short paragraph, something that we can do is we can send it through questions. So we can send through questions. Let's pick 3rd grade. Let's pick English. Our question will be, please review. So we're going to copy and paste our paragraph in there. That's our question, is to just please check it over. And then we're going to submit our question. And as you can see, now I will wait to get my answer from my inbox very shortly. The other thing is the last thing I'm going to do today is we're going to go through the writing lab. So for instance, if I want to attach my document, so I'm going to pretend that I had written this paper for myself and that I have it as a Word document, right? And so what we're going to do is, give me 1 second. I'm going to save our little story about Johnny Appleseed into my documents. Alrighty, so we're going to find it in my computer. We're going to click Upload File. I'm going to go into the folder that I saved it in, which is going to be this Johnny Appleseed. You're going to click it. You click open. You're going to see the name of my file is now in the white box. We're going to click upload file. Oh no, we already did that. So we're good. As long as the name is in there, we're all good to go. So just make sure the name of your document is in that white box. My comment is, this was an activity to create a Johnny Appleseed story. And then we're just going to click, once we're all satisfied with that, we're going to click submit. And then we're all good to go. We'll get our responses in our inbox at the top over here in the top right-hand corner. So that pretty much covers BrainFuse for today. I did very quickly want to mention that in terms of other resources that you can use during this time, you can check out some of our ebook resources on our website. And so what we can do is that some of them are Overdrive, some of the Access 360, Billy Billboard, Hydreid ebook. And then actually at a later date of one of these Explore with QPL programs, we're going to be going over Tumble Books. So Tumble Books, as you can see here, we have Tumble Books for kids. These are really cool. They have their picture books that are for free to read online. They also speak and read to you and are animated. So it's super fun to check out. We have Teen Book Cloud, which is Tumble Books for middle school and high school. So for some of our older readers today, and Tumble Book Cloud Junior, which is specifically from grades 3 to 6. So these are all resources that you can use to check out and read, continue to read at home during this time. So if anyone has any questions, please write them in the chat really quickly. But I did just want to say, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We will be coming back with Explore with QPL on October 13th, where we'll be talking about World Book Online and celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. And also, once again, BrainFuse, you just need your library card and you can access it for free help to live tutoring, free writing assistance, and the ability to have any question you have answered. So it looks like there might be no questions. So thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure to speak about BrainFuse with you guys, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Enjoy the rest of the week. And yeah, so make sure to check out BrainFuse on queenslibrary.org, and you'll find it under research databases. Have a good one.